out of my face.
Welcome to the show. The Shadow Systems MR920 pistol is a polymer-framed, striker-fired handgun chambered in 9x19mm. It shares the same overall design and pattern as the Glock 19, sharing the same magazines, holsters, but with enhanced ergonomics and optics mounting capability. Let's go check it out. So what is Shadow Systems? Well, Shadow Systems is a Texas-based handgun company where most of their products are patterned after Glock's comparable models. For example, the MR920 featured here is patterned after the Glock 19. You have the DR920 patterned after the Glock 17 full-size handgun, the XR920 patterned after the Glock 45, and you also have other handguns and models that are patterned after Glock 46, the Glock 43, and the Glock 43X. Shadow Systems line of handguns come in two trims. You've got the Elite version and a Foundation series. The Foundation series is this particular handgun. I'll explain it later in detail. The Elite series is a more up-trim model, which has additional features such as tritium front sight, a ported slide and barrel, a threaded barrel, and some other features. Okay, let's go over the features of this handgun from barrel all the way to bottom. So, our barrel, regular muzzle crown, nitride barrel with traditional rifling. This is perfectly fine, this is perfectly adequate. I don't need to mount a suppressor to it, but if I do want to, I can switch it out with any Glock 19 pattern barrel. Our slide features rear and forward slide serrations, which I do find to be an ergonomic improvement in case I want to clear the pistol in malfunctions or in emergencies. We have ourselves a rear black sight and a front sight with a white dot. The white dot doesn't glow or anything, but I find that to be fine. And it does witness through a red dot sight if you have one mounted through it. Now, what really makes this pistol stand out to the standard Glock 19 or the Glock 19 MOS is the optic can directly mount to the slide. Shadow Systems can facilitate many patterns and brands of optics, but the most popular pattern of all, the RMR pattern or the Hollow Sun Type C pattern, work great. I never really had any fuss or problems with it. The optic does sit a bit lower due to proprietary slide geometry, but with that, I find it to be secure, solid, and reliable. I haven't had any issues with this, and I find that to be great. Now, at the bottom half of the pistol, there's a trigger that is a semi-flat trigger with a little dingus in the middle, much like the Glock, which actually I find very, very nice, and it somehow, after breaking in the pistol for about 2,000 rounds later, feels really crisp for a striker-fired pistol. I don't know why it is like that, but in stock form, it's excellent. We have ourselves our under rail, which is the same pattern as Glocks, ever since the Glock 19 Gen 3 and forward, which does provide mounting of flashlights and other sorts of under dust cover attachments quite easy. Hit! 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 Got additional texturing, kind of like this rough little pebble-like texturing, and I find it really, really nice. Like with a thumbs forward grip, this can act as some sort of gas pedal. Really, really nice, but it's not so wide that it causes some sort of obstruction when carrying. Got additional texturing along the grip, and we have interchangeable back panels. There are 3 back panels that can be added to the pistol, as well as a magazine well. I do not like the magazine well, but that's just my own preference regarding these things in general. Some people might like it. It's not functionally wrong, but I just don't have it on this pistol. On default, you have 3 different grip angle modules on the rear to change the angle as well as the swell of the rear grip. In stock form, which is their medium grip, feels a lot to me like a Smith & Wesson M&P, which, not bad, but also you can change it to a smaller grip and have a more 1911-like angle, which I have currently on this pistol, which I really love. And if you really are accustomed to Glock's grip angle and ergonomics, you can have the rear grip module at its fattest and most steep, not steep, most angled, mimicking that of the Glock. Great for many shooters, but what's not great about it is after every 450 rounds or so, the pin to lock this sort of rear grip module is in can walk out. I find that a bit annoying. Magazine release resembles that of the Glock 19 Gen 4 or Gen 5, which I do prefer over the Gen 3. Very good, can't complain about it. As far as for this slide stop, slide release, I have mixed feelings about it. I think it's a lot due to a training issue, but for me, with the way I would run this pistol a bit higher up, it can cause me to accidentally force the slide release to go downwards, which I don't have that sort of problem with the regular stock Glock 19. That's my own subjective feelings about this. One thing I also do really like about this pistol is there is a undercut under the trigger guard, so I can have a much higher grip and be able to control the pistol much more easily. There's also extended beaver tail integrated into the frame, which I'm also a fan of. Helps prevent slide bite, but that isn't really too much of an issue with a Glock in the first place. Now, what's one thing I really like about it is compatibility with all Glock holsters that I have. Whether it be a Safariland duty style holster with a red dot and a flashlight on it, and some others. I'll show you them. Now, here are the holsters I have for the Glock 19. Let's go see how the Shadow Systems MR920 fits in all of them. Now that I got all my holsters lined up neatly, let's go and test them out. We have our Shadow Systems pistol with a red dot sight and a Surefire X300 B turbo on it. Safariland ALS holster with red dot sight. Just fine. We have ourselves our Tenorcore ARX Sol Glock 17, Glock 19 holster with X300. It's just fine. Bravo Concealment X300 holster for Glock 19, Glock 17. It's just fine. Let's go and take this flashlight off, and we have ourselves our TLR1 HL, which is also a very common pattern of weapon-mounted light. Okay, we have our Streamlight TLR1 HL weapon-mounted flashlight on the Shadow Systems MR920. Safariland duty holster with red dot sight and flashlight. Just fine. Bravo Concealment TLR1 HL holster for Glock 19, Glock 17. Perfectly fine. Now let's go take the weapon mounted light off. Safariland 7000 series Glock 19 holster. Oh, of course it doesn't fit with a red dot sight. This won't work either due to the red dot sight. Let's try the other hip holsters. Filster Appendix holster, just fine. Bravo Concealment, 2nd generation, Kydex outside the waistband holster, just fine. Bravo Concealment, 3rd generation, outside the waistband holster, just fine. So, with all the holsters I have available, except for 2, which is not due to the pistol but due to the red dot sight, they all fit. When you buy the Shadow Systems MR920 Foundation Series pistol, all you get is just a box, and inside that box you get your pistol, you get yourself your magazine well, your 3 grip modules, a packet of lube, and a grip module disassembly tool, and our owner's manual, and 2 Magpul 15-shot Glock compatible magazines. The magazines themselves are, I wouldn't trust them for carry use, but for $20 or less for OEM factory Glock magazines, I think they're the best, and they feed reliably well in this particular gun. Now, With the with the Shadow Systems MR920 or any Glock 19 patterned handgun, any magazines that would fit in a Glock 19 will fit in this. So you can also get 15-shot magazines, 17-shot magazines for the full-size Glock 17, or you can get yourself a 33-round OEM Glock Big Stick magazine. Not ideal for concealed carry, but is a reliable way to have a whole lot of firepower for this handgun if you're going to use it for home defense or as a bedside gun. Now, looking inside the included owner's manual, I find it to be quite useful and well documented and well formatted, and it even has nice colored photographs, which is very nice. Inside the owner's manual, it explains the warranty, which has a 5-year warranty. I never had to use it, nor had to take the pistol in. Now, looking at the last page of the manual, I'd say this is pretty cool. Shadow Systems claims that if you use your pistol in a justified self-defense shooting, they'll compensate you with another pistol. I think that's great. Familiar with the disassembly, reassembly, and maintenance of Glock pattern handguns, the Shadow Systems pistol is no different. Just cock the slide, put down the takedown lever, pull the trigger, and frame separates from slide. Get yourself your guide rod assembly, your barrel, and that's pretty much it for field cleaning. Extremely identical to the Glock. One thing is that due to the proprietary slide, I think having also the optic mounted on it, I'm unable to remove the rear end plate on it. But in the owner's manual, they don't recommend doing that. And to reassemble it, pretty much identical. The barrel, put it in. Get your guide rod assembly, put that in. And take the slide and put it over the frame. Simple. Okay, so enough about me talking about the features of this handgun. What are my own thoughts on it, and what is my opinion on the performance I've experienced using this handgun? Well, after taking it out of the box and mounting a red dot sight to it, I took it to gun sight. Done, out left. The intermediate 350 red dot sight pistol course. From there, I put about 1,200 rounds through it, maybe slightly more. But I kind of put this pistol through its paces, put it in a lot of situations, and I really like it. Some of the faults I've encountered with it would be the grip module pin walking out every 450 rounds. Me accidentally putting down on the slide release or slide stop, which causes me to have to reload using an overhanded technique. And with frangible ammunition, specifically Freedom Munitions heavy shot 100 grain 9x19mm frangible ammunition, I've been having malfunctions and squibs with this pistol. However, I believe this is an ammunition related issue, and I've been having problems with that particular ammunition with Glock 45s as well. However, with Federal, frangible ammunition, ran fine with 115 grain Blazer brass ammunition, ran fine with 124 grain Winchester M882 NATO ammunition, ran fine with Plus P, Federal HST, ran fine with Spear Gold Dot 124 grain hollow point. I find the reliability of this pistol to be quite good, and almost as good as a Glock. I'd say almost just because of these two issues. As far as the role of this particular pistol, I'd use it for everything. Everyday carry, competition, patrol use, LARPing around. Find that it's quite robust, and with the already existing Glock ecosystem already have, holsters, magazines, ammunition, pouches, this fits right in seamlessly. One thing I really like about it is that for the Foundation Series pistol, no extra bells and whistles that would be advertised by Shadow Systems, like a threaded muzzle, a ported slide-in barrel, fancy titanium, bronze finishes, tritium sights. I don't particularly care much about that. What I really care about is the ergonomics of the pistol, the compatibility with Glock holsters that already exist, which break this even better than, say, like the Beretta ARX or FN pistols or any of the more modern pistols, just because of that holster compatibility. And the direct mounting of the red dot sight to the slide, better than what Glock would have, and cheaper than me taking an already existing pistol and bringing it to a smith. While this one, sights already included, easy way to mount an optic, and I find it great. And I find this to be an excellent value. Some Glock clones out there, they won't fit in Glock holsters, and that's a huge turnoff. And as far as for people who hate the ergonomics of these Glocks, this rounds out most of them. And for what I paid for, sure, prices can change. Only paid $500 new through Family Firearms or AR14.com. And with that, I get an entirely new pistol, and I can get the old one to sell it or keep it as an extra gun. So, way cheaper than modifying a Glock platform and then like potentially screwing up with the reliability or having to sink a lot of money in replacing all the parts on it. So would I recommend this pistol? Totally. Is it the best carry pistol? I don't know. You have to be the judge for that. But for me, I made this my main carry pistol, and I absolutely love it. Okay, so what are my own thoughts after putting 2,500 rounds through this thing? I think the Shadow Systems MR920 is excellent, and I recommend you get it. Even if you hate Glocks, with this pistol, it gets rid of most of the ergonomic gripes I have about it, and you can have unrivaled holster compatibility, really inexpensive OEM magazines that are durable and excellent, and a lot of the documentation and peripherals that would match with this. Excellent large capacity magazines. I find this to be just quite an excellent pistol. I solely recommend it. So with the price of a factory Glock and the features of a custom one, I don't think this can be beat. And I recommend it. Now, is it the right pistol for you? You be the judge. Now, if you do enjoy this video and find it informative, give it a like, comment down below on what you think, open the description and read it, subscribe to my channel, and financially support me through Ko-fi if you feel like it. If you don't want to, I understand, but your own likes and support would really help this channel and help crush algorithms or big conglomerates that would just show you garbage. Now, for some random advice I'd like to give out, if you ever do decide to travel and pack overseas, ideally have your own baggage and containers that are sterile and separate from any sort of stuff that would contain firearms, lead, gunpowder, any of that sort of stuff. You don't want any sort of trouble or false flags or any sort of unnecessary messes over at airports. Another thing is, be very, very careful and check the seams, check all the pockets of the baggage that you decide to carry with you before a flight or international travel. Even a stray shell casing will end you in jail for a very long time, and you don't want to end up in prison, let alone one in, like, say, Thailand or the Philippines.